Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 176 of the Mediocre Alaskan podcast. The last one of 2020. It's the end of the year. I won't go into this past year because the recaps, the reflections, it was awful. It was awesome. It is what it is, was what it was. It's now history, just about. What I do want to talk about is something that's been kind of brewing for the last couple of weeks. My students finished reading Into Thin Air, John Krakauer's book about hiking Mount Everest and the disaster on Mount Everest in 1996. And Beck Weathers, the guy who was left for dead, talked about how he had this dark cloud over his life when he wasn't climbing, and climbing was the only thing that kind of made that dark cloud go away. And so I've been kind of thinking about that with regards to hunting and fishing, and just how difficult it can be for a lot of people to just kind of live on a normal daily sort of basis, and the hunting and the fishing is their escape from reality. And so they're dealing with those dark clouds. And some things are out of their control, but for a lot of us, I think we have the opportunity to live better lives away from hunting and fishing. And there are ways that we need to address those dark clouds so we're not reliant upon one hunt or one fishing trip to try to make up for the rest of the year that is, purposeless, or whatever it is that brings people down. I don't want to sound like one of those mental health, we have to fix people and people are broken. I mean, they are, but it sounds like such a cliche to blame that, or just to talk about that and take care of yourself. In 2021, I'm going to work on me. And well, yeah, but in a not cliche sort of way where you're just posting about it. I think that gets in our way too. I think we get caught up in posting things. I think we get caught up in pretending to be someone. My column in the Juneau Empire for tomorrow, which will be December 31st, talks about that, and it talks about how it's kind of the modern Walter Mitty is that person who dreams of being someone online through their social media. So it's not like this dream that no one gets to see, like Walter Mitty. You're projecting an image of who you want to be and who you wish you were through the usage of your social media. And that can trick us into thinking that, we have things all together. There's things that we need to deal with that we don't, because we either have created a facade or some way of, just not dealing with what we need to deal with so that we can either, feel that purpose. And so if we feel if we feel that we have a daily purpose in our job, in our lives, and, being mothers, brothers, husbands, wives, sons, whatever, if we feel purpose in all of that, or we feel purpose in our job, then when we go outside for fishing or hunting, it's that much better. We don't need the medicinal properties of a hunt in order to jolt us back to feeling good. If we have daily purpose in our lives, if we find ways that we can, cultivate happiness when we're not outside, then that would just make the experience that much better. We're not dependent upon it, because I think that dependency to either to prove things to people on social media, or try to get caught up in being an influencer, get caught up with, or get really excited about someone sharing your post, and you tagged a business and they then shared your tagging on their Instagram. I do that all the time too, for sure. But it's really nothing. It is what it is. It's a cool little thing. You gave them free advertising. So, that's what it is. If you tag a company on Instagram, that's free advertising for them, which is why the market has changed a lot and why they don't have to market and advertise in the same sort of ways, because, you get so much free advertising. The Diverge photography series thing that Sitka's doing. And that's awesome. That's so great. You get a ton of great photos. And if you are a photographer or a photojournalist, you get a ton of things to look through, different angles, and just it's amazing the images that you get to sort through. But if you don't win the contest, you're submitting and you're providing so much free content for Sitka. And again, I'm glad they do that. That's an awesome thing. But what are you getting out of it? Is that, we have to be selfish to a degree. There's a lot of great businesses out there that provide great products that provide value to our lives. And there are companies who just prey on the fact that we are desperate to feel accepted. We are desperate to feel like real hunters or real fishermen. And so they prey on that, and we just buy more stuff and buy more gear as if it's going to make us a better hunter or it's going to fill that void in our lives. And it doesn't. There are a lot of companies out there that are excellent companies, and they are run by people who you think, man, this person's got it. They have something else going on. This isn't just like an entrepreneur that's trying to separate me from my money. This person there's something good about the way they live their life, and they have a broader plan for their life. And so it shows in the business and the product that they come out with. It's like they don't really need to do it. They didn't go to a marketing school or, get a degree in entrepreneurship. There's so much more value in that. And so if we can find in our own lives ways that we can get value through our interactions with people on an everyday basis, if we can find ways that we can find purpose and consider other people in our jobs, and if our jobs are enjoyable, and if our daily routine is enjoyable, then hunting and fishing is going to be just like the biggest piece of ice cream next to, or brownies, or what's the best dessert? Or no, wait, does that end up being is that the appetizer? Or is the appetizer is the good life? I just totally confused myself with this metaphor. I have no idea where I was going with that. But the better we are outside, or the better we are inside, the better we're going to be outside. The better we are outside of our hunting and fishing hobbies or passions, the better it's going to be. The experience is going to be better because we're not going to be so bent on, or we're not going to need to catch that huge steelhead. We're not going to need to kill that massive elk. We're not going to need to kill that big mule deer or tag out, get all 4 blacktail bucks. We won't need that, right? Because we get our self-worth from other things, and we're not just posting stuff on Facebook, on Instagram, just to try to fill that void, try to make that dark cloud go away.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
A couple of years ago, I did that focus word thing where for the new year you focus on a word, and just like in everyday actions, you try to make that something. Like you try to build your life around something that you want to improve. And so I chose 2 words. This is 2018. I chose prioritize and create, which is a way of just looking at what I was prioritizing. And it doesn't mean that in the year you're going to solve that and so you're going to have perfect priorities all the time. No, it's just to prevent you from lying to yourself or thinking that you do have your priorities straight, or just maybe prevent some areas in which you are not prioritizing things correctly and then are suffering the consequences. So I just wanted to be thinking about priorities. Where's my time going? What is important? What's not? If it's not important, why am I wasting my time with it? need to be efficient with my time. And then the second thing was create. I wanted to be creative, and I wanted to like write more and write better. Um, I look back at some of the stuff I wrote 10 years ago. My book came out in 2013, and gosh, it's cringeworthy for me to read sometimes, because I look back and I think, man, I'm such a better writer. And that was me looking back at 7-8 years of improvement and thinking, okay, I'm better now than I was. And so if I thought that it was just a matter of I write a column and I just write this and it's good, if you don't look at yourself and say I have room for improvement, then you never improve. Or if you're not kind of harsh on yourself sometimes, and sometimes I'm a little bit too critical of myself, in not just writing but also in like the outdoors, and I get really frustrated with hunting and fishing sometimes. But I wanted to be creative in new ways, and I didn't want to just I wrote a book with there was a bunch of essays kind of thrown together. I don't want to just write a weekly column, and I got caught up in write for as many different magazines as possible, and I'll be more validated if I get in this big magazine, rather than just focus on writing good columns and put more effort into writing a good column and being a good columnist for the Juneau Empire where I write. So prioritizing that energy, and then also creating stuff. There are consumers and there are creators. If you are just a consumer, if you're not building anything with it, then you're just a consumer. You're at the mercy of other people who are doing things, and they're selling them to you, and you're either being changed or manipulated, or you're wasting your time with these things that other people create for you. So being creative in whatever that was. And so for me, it was obviously writing. And so the last 2 years, I've done a lot more writing, a lot better writing, and have just thought about different ways to create. And the podcast was part of that as well. Just how can I get the voice out in a different way, rather than sit around and just kind of fall into that routine of I'm going to sit around for 10 months, wait till hunting season starts, get all my joy out of hunting for 2 months, and then just kind of go this like not hibernate emotionally for 10 months until I can hunt again. That's just not right. That's just not the plan or the recipe for a good, fulfilling life. So I guess to summarize this rant, one, read my column in the Juneau Empire tomorrow, December 31st. I'll have it posted on the mediocrealaskan.com, so you can access it through there and look at the outdoor section in the Juneau Empire. And just talking about how important it is that we take care of ourselves outside of fishing and hunting and our passions, whatever they happen to be, so that we can enjoy the experiences a lot more. And I think we'll be less apt to be controlled by other things like social media, or just that desperation to have an epic experience because it's the only week that we're going to have out of our 52 weeks in the year that's going to be awesome. So finding purpose in our lives outside of that is so important going forward. And then focusing on the focus words again. I want to prioritize the right things in my life, and I want to create. I want to keep writing things and talking and doing things, and have a plan, have a purpose. So we'll call that episode 176, and who knows what that sounded like. But ranting, just got back from a steelhead trip, pretty tired, pretty dehydrated, but beautiful day, no steelhead, but great to be out there. So have a great start to the new year, and we'll talk to you next time.